You're not tired because life is hard. You are tired because you are carrying everybody. And a lot of people don't realize that's what they're doing. They think they're just busy. They think they're just stressed. They think they're just going through a lot. But really, they are constantly managing, monitoring, anticipating the worst, reminding, bracing, adjusting, and emotionally preparing for everybody around them. And that is exhausting. A lot of people are walking through life like they have invisible octopus arms. One arm is on work, one arm is on relationship, one arm is on the family, one arm is on what somebody forgot, one arm is on what might go wrong next, one arm is on trying to keep the peace, one arm is on trying not to get disappointed again. And then they wonder why they feel scattered, why they feel irritated, why they feel overstimulated, why they can't relax. Because they're not just living their own life. They are energetically involved in everybody else's too. And the hard part is, a lot of this doesn't even look dramatic from the outside. Sometimes it just looks like, I have to remind him again. I have to stay on top of this. I already know how this is going to go. I just have to handle it myself. And after a while, you stop noticing that your whole inner world is organized around managing other people. That becomes normal. But normal doesn't mean healthy. A lot of this starts as old programming. A lot of us were taught directly or indirectly that being loving meant being responsible for everybody. That being good meant being useful. That being safe meant staying ahead of everyone else's mistakes. That being needed means being valuable. So now your body doesn't know how to fully rest because it thinks it still has to monitor. It still has to check. It still has to prepare. It still has to brace. And what a lot of people call overwhelm is actually years of being internally over-assigned. And if you really want to see where this shows up, look at what happens when somebody around you drops the ball. A boss wants something. Last minute, a partner forgets. A family member forgets. Somebody changes what they said, what they wanted. Somebody creates confusion. And suddenly your center is gone. Not because they made you lose it, but because their inconsistency pulled you out of yourself. That's the pattern. You get grounded, you get clear, you get back in your power, and then someone else does what they always do. And now your energy is back in their hands. That cycle is exhausting because you keep having to recover from people. And one of the simplest ways I explain this is with something really ordinary. If you want a vacuum cleaner to clean the rug, you have to plug it in first. If you want a toaster to toast bread, you have to plug it in first. But a lot of people are trying to help everybody, love everybody, support everybody, regulate everybody without being plugged into themselves first. And then they wonder why they feel depleted, why they feel resentful, why they feel drained, why they feel like they have nothing left. Because if your energy is going everywhere but to you first, of course you're tired. And here's another piece people don't always realize. The story you keep telling about someone matters too. If every day you are thinking, he's gonna forget, she always does this, I already know how this is gonna go. Here we go again. You are staying connected to the old version of the pattern. That doesn't mean you ignore reality. It doesn't mean you become naive. It doesn't mean you pretend people are different than they are. It just means you stop feeding the same emotional script that keeps the same version of the dynamic alive. Because sometimes expectation is not intuition. Sometimes expectation is just a repeated emotional memory. And if you keep emotionally rehearsing the old version of someone, you keep meeting them there. I always think of this like a balloon. If you are feeling lighter, clearer, more grounded, more connected to yourself, stay there. Stay in your own balloon. Do not climb down every time somebody else gets dense, forgetful, chaotic, or disconnected. Do not keep lowering yourself to match the frequency of the problem. Because a lot of people are not tired from life. They are tired from repeatedly abandoning themselves to emotionally join what they don't want. And this is a very different kind of exhaustion. So what do you do instead? One of the gentlest tools I love for this is something you can do right before sleep. If there's someone you're struggling with, someone you feel tension with, someone you feel like you keep mentally arguing with, stop trying to solve it all day in your head. And before bed, when your body is softening and your mind is less defensive, just imagine them in a peaceful setting and speak to them soul to soul. Very simply, something like, "Can you find it in your heart to help me with this so that we can work more smoothly together?" That's it. Not to control them, not to override them, not to manipulate them, just to stop feeding the fight in your own field. Because sometimes the first shift isn't even that they change immediately. Sometimes the first shift is that you stop expecting the worst. And when you stop expecting the worst, you stop scattering your energy, you stop rehearsing the struggle, you stop meeting the same dynamic from the same version of you, and that alone can start changing a lot. At the end of the day, the real shift is not just, did they finally do better? The real shift is, did I come back to myself? Did I stay connected to me? Did I stop leaving myself every time someone else became inconsistent? Did I stop making my peace dependent on someone else getting it together? That's the deeper work. And honestly, that's where your power comes back. That's when your power comes back. So if you've been feeling especially drained lately, ask yourself, where am I still carrying people who were never mine to carry? Where am I still monitoring instead of living? Where have I gotten so used to managing everybody else that I forgot to stay connected to myself? Because you do not have to carry everybody to be loving. You do not need to manage everybody to be safe. And you do not need to leave yourself to stay connected to anyone. Take one breath. Unclench your jaw and let your shoulders drop. And come back to you.